That is Canadian actor and stuntman Ken Kirzinger, best known for his role as Jason Voorhees in Freddy vs. Jason. He joins us this morning ahead of his appearance at this weekend's Niagara Falls Comic Con. Hi.
Hello, nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I want to know, like, backstory. I want to know, before we get into the Jason stuff, how you decided to become a stunt performer.
Well, when I was 12 years old, I read an article about Hal Needham, who was a very famous stuntman, and up until then, I think I wanted to be Jacques Cousteau.
Who doesn't?
and so time went on, and I had that tacked away in the back of my head. And I was in college playing football, and I had the idea of playing pro football. My brother was already playing, and I blew my knee out. And I thought, now's the perfect time to look into becoming a stuntman. so turns out my sister was raising her family in the States, and she was living in Los Angeles at the time. I didn't have the money to go. I got my income tax return back. It was $365, the exact price of the plane ticket to get to LA. Flew to LA, I stayed with my sister. Turns out her next door neighbor was the property master on Fall Guy, the old TV series.
Yep.
And he gave me the name of a stunt guy on the show. I called him up. He gave me the number of a stunt guy in Vancouver. So when I got back to Vancouver, I looked them up.
So you just went to LA for a phone number, essentially.
Essentially, and you'd be surprised at how many Canadians, you got to go down to the States before you can get recognized in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, that is such an incredible story.
Yeah, I was very lucky.
Okay, and your first role was Superman 3.
My first stunt job was Superman 3, yeah. I got to go out to Calgary, and they were shooting the big refinery, chemical refinery disaster.
Yeah.
And I got to be one of the firemen that was running in and out of the flames and getting blown up and stuff. And while I was there, I got to meet Christopher Reeves and the stunt coordinator on the show. And,
wow.
And they said, hey, you'd make a great double for Christopher Reeves. If we come back and do another Superman, would you be interested? And I said, of course, yes. But they never came back. And but Chris ended up coming to Vancouver to do a couple movies, and I got to double him then.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah,
what an interesting career of a stunt double. Yeah. Now, before taking on the role of Jason, you actually tried to take on Jason in Friday the 13th, Part 8. How does it feel kind of to come full circle with that?
Well, I mean, it's so very cool to be a part of two of the episodes of the franchise. Kane Hodder is the only guy that's gotten to play him more than once, and he did it 4 times. So I have gotten to put on the Jason costume twice, once doubling Kane in number 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and then getting to be the Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. But I was interviewed originally for the stunt coordinating job on Freddy vs. Jason, and it just turns out they wanted to recast with somebody who was bigger. And
you walked in and
I walked in. I was talking to the line producer, and he wasn't really listening to me. He was just kind of looking at me, and then he goes, you know, you've been looking for somebody your size, and you've got experience. He goes, you know, would you audition? And the audition was silly. It was like a really cheap Jason mask, and they read the opening scene of the girl swimming in the lake, and they did a close-up of my eyes, and then they just had me walk around the room, and that was the audition. And so they brought that to Ronnie Yu, and I had a quick meeting with him, and they gave me the job.
Easiest job ever.
Yeah, it was my easiest job ever, literally. I didn't have to remember the lines. The stunts were nothing I hadn't done before. Yeah, it was just a real gift.
That's amazing. Now, we only have about 35 seconds left, but I need to know, in your opinion, who should have won the fight?
Well, I always say, you know, if you look at the movie, I come walking out of the lake, I got Freddy, you know, I got his head. So, I mean, I could say very easily I won by a head. and then he goes and blinks. And people go, yeah, but he blinked. You didn't want, he blinked. And I said, what's he going to do? Butterfly kiss me to death?
Maybe. Maybe. Butterfly kiss. For those of you that don't know, it's the eyelashes that you've got to touch someone's skin. This is amazing. New category in stunt design, and I know we don't have time for it, but is it awesome? It
is. It's so great to see it finally happen. The community is, the stunt community is excited about it. Yeah,
well, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
Check them out at Comic Con this weekend.